This is a message for all the sellers who are penny pincher, pound pincher, sniping on my storefront and ruining my listings. Okay, this is a message for you guys. So be careful.
Okay. Hi everybody, Gavin here, the Arbitrage Nomad. In this video, I've got Ahmed on the call and he's going to be running through his journey. I'm just going to have a chat about Amazon. So Ahmed, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, thanks for inviting me. I hope the sound is clear. I purchased a microphone, so I hope it works well. Regarding Amazon, I started 2 years ago, almost 1 year and 10 months ago, January 2020, and doing wholesale online arbitrage, selling on multiple marketplaces. Quite hard business, but it's beautiful in the same time. I created a nice team of virtual assistants. In short, this is in short, yes.
Oh, cool. So why did you start? And are you doing this full time?
Why did I start selling on Amazon?
Yeah.
I want to be rich, to be honest. I want to be rich. I want to make money, and I want freedom. I want just to travel around the world, to live a better life. I don't want to, as you know, I have a full-time job, right? I have a full-time job, and it's getting annoying when you have to, go to work every day, 9 to 5. Actually, I'm not 9 to 5. I'm 9 to 9 or 9 to 12 p.m. or something like that as a lorry driver, long hours. So I want to spend more time with my family. And, when you work for someone, you just earn as much he's giving you, right? When you have your own business, there is no limit.
But why Amazon? Like, how did you get, because Amazon is so niche. How did you get into Amazon specifically?
So, I heard about Amazon a long time ago, to be honest. And the only business model I thought that you can do on Amazon was private label. That was long time ago. I can't remember, but a long time ago, before coming to UK, so more than 7 years ago. Then, while in UK, well, I don't know, maybe 3-4 years ago, again, I was looking into making money online, and again, private label. I thought that's the only business model, private label. I tried to do something, but I just stopped. But I didn't offer.
What did you try? What was it?
Like, I was taking like notes, plans. I was looking to save money to invest, but nothing more than that. Okay. Nothing more than that. But thanks God I didn't start private label. And then I was looking. I remember I was working, and I was looking for any other way of trying of doing money online. And I came across online arbitrage. I said, hold on, wait. You're telling me that you can buy from like retail stores, Tesco, Argos, and invest in like buy from them and sell to Amazon? Didn't make sense. So I started looking more into details. I said, oh, that sounds good. That sounds good. So you don't need a huge investment. That was a good thing for me. We didn't need a huge investment. A few £1,000. It was okay for me to invest, not like in private label, like that's required a lot, and the risk is huge. So I said, okay, that's perfect. I can buy locally, so everything is great then. Then I realized that this online arbitrage business or wholesale is very, very known in UK, and not only. I realized that there are loads of Facebook groups, loads of YouTube channels. Everyone was talking. It just the information didn't get to me, and everything was, wow, I can't believe it, this exists. So this is how I started, to be honest. This is how I started. I did some research, then all in. I remember I went to Waitrose. I spent £1,000. I had deals from Fast Track FBA. I just went like kamikaze, all in.
Just hardcore mode. And guys, like Ahmed has what, 3 children. Is it 3?
3, yes, 3.
So he has 3 children and a full-time job. And he's doing like 70K turnover per month in America. And he's also selling in Europe and other marketplaces. So this guy is mad hustling, absolutely mad hustling. How do you manage Amazon around with your job and your kids?
Oh, it's hard. It's really hard. Like I gave up on many things. Yeah, it's not that as beautiful as other people trying to make it look like. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. Like as I said, my job is 8 hours a day. It's 12 hours, 13 hours. Yeah, night shift, 3 kids, take them to nursery, and you know, other things I need to do home. But I'm lucky that my wife is managing to do a lot, because she knows that if I'll be successful with my Amazon, I can have more free time. So she understands that this Amazon business requires a lot of energy and a lot of my time. And I don't sleep enough. That's another thing. Yeah, I sleep less than a normal human being.
Yeah.
And in the same time, while at work, like, yeah, I do long hours, but I still get to work while I'm at work. Yeah, while waiting to be loaded, while waiting for a job, because I'm a lorry driver. I still get hours to invest in my Amazon business. So every single time when I find some free time, I'm on it. I have laptop anywhere. If I go in a holiday, if I go to the beach, to the swimming pool, anywhere I go, I have my laptop and I just work on it. Yes, it's supposed when you go on holiday to rest, to forget, but it's not my case, because now I'm at that stage where I need to, you know, to work like a horse until to get up to a point where I can just relax. And I'll give you an example. When I started, I was doing everything by myself, prepping, creating shipments, sourcing, everything, dealing with suppliers, dealing with reconciliations, Amazon, dealing with everything. Yeah. But now I have admins, I have managers. Now I'm just focusing on growing the business. I'm not sourcing, I'm not purchasing, I'm not doing reconciliations. If anything wrong with my stock on Amazon side or from the supplier or the prep center, any issues, I have people who are managing everything for me. Yeah, so this is an example that, you know, in the beginning you need to work hard, to sacrifice, and until you get to a point where you can outsource almost everything, but still working a lot.
That sounds insane though. Like, you put the time in yourself, now you've started to outsource it. So my question would be, at what point are you going to go full-time Amazon? Because your turnover is very high, you're making a lot of money. And I understand that you want to continuously reinvest into Amazon, but at what point do you say, okay, now I'm going full-time Amazon?
It's hard. In the beginning, I was saying certain dates in the beginning when I had less experience. But now, because I have more experience, I don't know why. I'm gonna tell you why. So at this
Are you scared?
No, I'm not scared. No,
Okay.
I'm not scared. No. If I was scared, I wasn't here. Apart of having lots of expenses with 3 kids, mortgage, cars, installments, all these things. Apart of that, and living in UK is not cheap. It's not cheap at all.
It's getting way more expensive, right? Crazy more expensive.
Everything gone up. Everything gone up.
Mate, just leave. Come Mexico, come Bali, come somewhere else.
It's hard. My kids are going to school, so I can't really take them from school. And
can they get a new school?
A different language.
That's true. Start teaching them Spanish.
No, it's hard. It's hard. Yeah. We'll see later, but at the moment it's hard. Yes, and I'm at the so right now I don't use any profit. I just reinvest everything, and I'm expanding. Yeah, keep hiring, investing. So now I don't. Yeah, I make some money, but I don't feel like I'm making any money because everything goes back and expanding. Even I bring cash from home. Yeah, I still bring cash home because I'm expanding.
But your asset value goes up, right? Like,
yes, that's
you're not taking profit, but your actual asset value goes up.
Yes.
But you do make a very good point, is that you should really like hold off on taking any money out from the business until you're in a position where you need to live off it or it's funding the life that you want. If you're still growing, taking out any amount of money from the business can seriously hinder your growth. Obviously, you're going to have certain situations where that's like you might have to, but on an overall basis, you want to restrict how much money you take out of the business. Because we're doing Amazon, right? Amazon online arbitrage is a very cash flow intensive business. The more money you have, the more money you can make. Apart from that, you just need like certain operations and systems in place. But the key factor is always having more money.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
So Ahmed,
and
what advice would you give?
Next year. Sorry?
What advice would you give to someone who has a job, who has children, and wants to start Amazon?
Oh, to be aware that Amazon is not easy.
Yep.
It's not easy business because I've seen lots of people starting Amazon, giving up, some of them saying exactly what the point I'm trying to make now. Oh, I thought it's a lot more easier. It's not easy. Yeah, you have to sacrifice a lot. You have to deal with so many problems, issues. But I don't want to put anyone down or just say don't start. No, there is so much potential in Amazon. You can do so much. I know so many successful people. You learn a lot. It's not only making money from Amazon, even if you fail, but what you learn doing this business, you learn a lot.
What do you think the difference is then between someone who fails and someone who succeeds?
What's the difference?
Yeah, what do you think the difference is between somebody who fails on Amazon and somebody who succeeds?
Oh, it's a hard question. It's a hard question for me to.
What's your view? So I'll speak about what I think of it first, right? So if I look at someone who wants to succeed, so let's say everyone wants to succeed, right? If I look at someone who fails and look at someone who succeeds, the first point is like, how quick do they give up? Two, are they just listening to what other people say and not making the wrong way on Amazon? Because if you just use like non-stop lead sources and don't try and grow yourself, work out your own skills, then you're likely to fail. Also, if you outsource too early before you can afford it, like you learn something, then you outsource it. If you want to outsource too early, then you increase the chance that you're going to fail because the pressure that you have on yourself is so high. Like, for example, you have to train a VA, but you're still learning how to source or read keeper graphs yourself. Yes. So it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
Another thing would be probably like incorrect time management. For example, in your scenario, when you got like kids and your full-time job, you do have to make sacrifices. These sacrifices are not permanent. You're sacrificing 1 or 2 years of your life for like a lifetime of freedom. That's how I see it. For example, in my case, I worked probably, including my full-time job, I would wake up at 6 a.m., go to work at 9 a.m., and then I'd do Amazon from 6 to 9. Then I'd do my full 9 to 5 until 5:30. Then I'd do Amazon until like 10 p.m. And that basically went on for about 6 to 7 months. Just crazy work, non-stop. But it's that sacrifice that I'm now here in Mexico. I'm going to Thailand soon. My USA business is mostly outsourced. I do about 10 hours per week. But so we've got to make the sacrifices at the start to get the time back later on.
Yes, 100%. Yes. And you made a good point, like outsourcing while you don't even know how to do the job. This is an issue that so many people are having. Like they're looking to get a VA, a virtual assistant, to outsource sourcing, because most of the people, they start with outsourcing sourcing. But when I ask them, okay, are you really good at sourcing? No, but I expect this from the VA. No, when you get the VA, you need to be better than the VA. You can't expect the VA to be better than you, because that's the problem. You master sourcing, you master analyzing, because you need to teach the VA. Yeah, it comes with some knowledge, but it will just follow you. If you can't guide your team members, then it'll be a disaster.
Like you're setting yourself up for failure, really, aren't you? Because the VA relies on you for experience. but you're under so much pressure yourself. You also don't know what you're doing. So it's like, you got this VA, you're trying to work out what you're supposed to be doing. Maybe you got one or you got two VAs. So you got so much pressure on yourself. And then what you're doing is your expenses is going to be like 600 to 700 pounds per month, which is one VA, including all of the software. So for you to break even, you need to make at least 700 gross profit per month. So at that point, you'd be like, okay, Amazon's a scam, it doesn't work. But actually, you've been doing it incorrectly. Maybe it's not your fault. Maybe you've been sold it, and that's just the way it's been sold, and you fell for the sale. That's just very unfortunate. But it's super important not to outsource too early.
Yes, and if you really need to outsource, because personally I outsource very, very early. But what I've done was, first time I outsourced prepping, because I hate it. I didn't like it at all. And I just thought, wait, so I'm prepping home, which is just killing my day, my weeks. I was angry, fighting with my wife. My home was a warehouse, mess everywhere from 6 in the morning till 12 in the night. Delivery driver at my door knocking. It was a mess. My kids were opening all the box and everything. I said, okay, I need to outsource, because I was saving, how much I was saving? 30p, 40p, 20p, I don't know. And I said, okay, all this time that I'm wasting on prepping, I will just invest in sourcing. So I outsourced, which helped me a lot. Then I said, okay, it's a bit too early to get a VA on my own, because I was still new. It was my first 2-3 months. But I said, okay, I'm going to do something else. I'm going to find someone to share the virtual assistant. So I remember I was paying last year in maybe March, $300 for a sourcing virtual assistant, but it was shared with a friend of mine. Yeah, so this is why this
was that a good idea? How did that go?
Oh, it was the best thing ever done.
Really?
Yeah, and I didn't stop.
What advice would you give to somebody who wants to do that? Because that's quite a unique thing. Like, it can either go really well, or I can imagine it going quite wrong. Because who's going to train the VA? How do you delegate the responsibility for this?
Okay, so the first thing you need to do is to make sure you find someone you can like get along. You have the same, at least the same mentality, or someone who's really serious about the business. Okay, and in terms of training, another thing is you need to make sure you are similar level on Amazon. Yeah, because if you are not VAT registered, he's VAT registered, then this will affect, like he will have less profit, you will have more profit because you're not VAT registered, so it will be a conflict. You need to have similar level. Then in regards of training, I always was that guy who, let me do it. If you can bring something to the table, just do it. But because I was always motivated when it comes to Amazon, always I was like, I will do it. Bring something to the table, it's fine.
So what if two people are super motivated then? So what if you're trying to manage a VA and split, but two of you are super motivated and both of you want to manage the VA? How would that work?
And they have the same results. If they have the same results, maybe we can just split 1 week, because the training to train a VA, I believe in the beginning when you hire, it takes quite a lot of training. Yeah, you need to. But after the VA gets to a certain level, you don't really need to spend time with that VA. Maybe with my VAs, maybe once my manager has 1 meeting a week. Okay, because they have experience to spend time to teach them what. No, we just discuss the mistakes. Okay, because they got to a level where they know what they're doing. But in the beginning, I never had this issue, to be honest, who's doing this and that. But
I can see it happening though.
If it happens,
so it's kind of like,
both.
But here's a question. So how much capital do you think is required before somebody gets a VA? For me, I think someone should have at least 10 grand before they get a VA. Until that point, it's the case of them working more. Because let's face it, for somebody's first time with a VA, they're probably going to use a VA service, which, for example, fast track FBAs is £600. Then their first month's wage is like £400, right? So you're down £1,000. That's 10% of your capital gone. If it then takes 3 months to see a good return, so you're investing really like £1,000 to 1.5 to 2 grand before you see an actual return on your investment. So what's your view on that?
I would just say in terms of sales, before getting your first VA, I think you need, I don't know, maybe 15,000 a month in sales. But again, depending on your net margins. But if you do standard OA with 10%, no, let's say 10% net margins, that will be around 1,500 profit, right? Yeah. And if you pay £400 to a virtual assistant, then you got left 1,100. But I would say around 15,000 monthly in sales to get then.
In terms of actual capital, though, how much do you think you need to start? The reason I say this is because I've seen a lot of people now get VAs. Yeah, and they have like £5,000 starting capital, and they've got a VA.
No, that's
which I think is just absolutely crazy.
No, it is. It's not enough. It's not enough to get a VA.
Yeah.
Because you're stronger with the VA in the beginning. You need to teach the VA. It's not like you hire a VA and get 5-10 deals, Bible deals every day. No, you have issues.
Do you reckon somebody should use a VA service for their first VA so they can get some guidance on like helping train the VA? What's your thoughts on that? Because your first VA is always going to be the most daunting one.
Now, here, it depends what it works for. For me, I always did it myself when it comes to virtual assistant. I look for virtual assistants by myself. I train them by myself. I did everything. I never paid anyone to train my VA or to find my VA. Okay, this is what it worked for me.
Yeah.
But I know successful stories with people who got virtual assistants from I think the most famous is Fast Track FBA. They got VAs from there. Very happy. I know VAs from there personally. I mean, personally, they are the VAs of my friends doing amazing job. It depends. It can be, I mean, it depends from person to person.
Yeah, and it also depends on the VA because a hiring service is just getting you a VA, right? It's hiring, some training. But for someone who, like you, is just like crazy motivated and works non-stop, I guess it definitely makes sense. And if you have management experience in management in general, then definitely like look at hiring yourself. But if you are getting a VA a little bit early on in your career, let's say in like 2 or 3 months because you have the capital to do it, at that point, I think probably using a VA service makes a lot of sense because you want to continue your growth because you have the money to do that. But if you're mass hiring VAs, it can be quite time consuming. So it's definitely a balance between whether you choose or choose not to use a VA service. And yeah, there's no one size fits all, is there?
The benefit of using a VA service is you get some support, especially when it's first time you work with the VA. You'll get some support. But if you do it the way I did it, like you do it by yourself, looking for a VA, training a VA, interviewing with a VA, and I was new, but it just worked for me. It worked for me, I guess. And
hiring is a skill in its own right, though.
Yes.
Like the amount of applications you get is absolutely wild. I was using onlinejobs.ph for my applications and VAs. I was getting between 150 to 200 applications. What I'd done though was I put a question inside it that they had to answer and put it in either the subject line or the content body. If they don't respond to the question, I just ignore them. Because so many people just blanket apply for as many jobs as possible.
Yes. Yeah, I know. Yeah, they're just applying. They don't like. It happened to me to post jobs for online arbitrage or wholesale, and they only had experience in private label. And I said clearly, experience in Equipa or SaaS or sourcing or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
And they didn't know anything about this, but they just said, "Oh, I'm looking to learn." You know, people are looking. You know, the situation is not that bright in some parts of the world, and They just need a job. They just need a job. It's just our duty to filter and to try to get the best virtual assistant. But it's not an easy job to find a good virtual assistant. It's not easy. It's so hard.
Dude, tell me about. I'm changing the topic here a little bit, but I want to know like how the UK is going, because I haven't been in the UK now for 3 months. Yeah, I think about 3 months, and I'm actually going back to the UK for about 5 days towards the end of this month before I go to Thailand. Like, how is it in the UK?
How is it the weather, or how is it what?
All of it. Weather, living expenses.
The weather is depressing. You know, it makes me cry. It's so bad, the weather. Raining every day, quite cold. And it's the same. Everything is the same. The market is quite low, like quite not very stable.
Yeah, because the pound like almost hit $1. That's so insane, man. It's so insane.
1.12. That's crazy.
Is where it's at now. Then the euro was under $1. I was really fortunate because as I moved to the USA business, I moved all my money to dollars. So it's like I just made a whole bunch of money for nothing just by moving to dollars. If I was to move the dollars back to pounds, that's proper insane.
Yes.
But I definitely do not miss living in the UK. It was always cold, man. Now I'm like, always good weather in Mexico, man. Come here. Mexico's fantastic weather.
I know. To be honest, I'm having like bad I know, not how should I say, like it's hard for me to live now here with this weather. Grew up in Romania where we had proper like proper summer. If it was autumn, it was just proper autumn. It was winter, proper winter. But here is quite depressing. It just makes you stay home, stay inside, indoor all day.
Yeah,
quite boring. But let's not forget there are lots of opportunities here. I achieved a lot in UK, a lot.
Yeah, it's a very safe place.
Very
That's what I
safe,
think of it.
and you can achieve so much in terms of like on a professional plan. You can achieve so much.
Yeah.
And if you see where is warm in the countries where it's warm, the economy is quite bad, right? Spain, Mexico.
Oh yeah, as in like.
Yeah.
Do you mean as in Spain or as in like Thailand? Like
Yeah.
all those kinds of like Philippines.
Where it's warm is yeah, the situation is not great, but where it's cold, it's great. It's great.
Because we've got advanced economies. Yeah, that's a very good point. I guess like they're so much more vulnerable to earthquakes, volcanoes, typhoons, all this crazy stuff, man. It's like when one of my VAs says, "Oh, there's a Type 5 typhoon or something." I'm just like, "What?" I just could not imagine. Like it was September the 19th. There was an earthquake here in Mexico, and it was super strange because like we just kept moving from left to right. It was like I don't know what it was on the Richter scale. I think it was 7.5 in Mexico City. That was definitely an interesting experience. But in Philippines, in all these places, it's just normal to have like crazy stuff happening.
Yes, typhoons. Yeah, a lot. Yeah, I would prefer to have typhoons, but to have a better weather.
Yeah, I prefer to have the typhoon and good weather. Or we just fly out every time there's a typhoon and we come back when it's over. That's pretty cool.
If it was that easy. But to be honest, if I go full-time Amazon by summer next year, I would just spend 3 months while my kids are on holiday. Maybe Mexico, Spain, I don't know, somewhere where it's warm. I need sun in my life. I just need sun.
Come Mexico or Thailand.
Thailand, yeah.
Thailand would be awesome too.
I don't know. I feel more comfortable to go to a European country.
Yeah, but it's good to go where you're not comfortable though, right? It's part of the reason.
Yeah, it's
or maybe
good,
go to Spain for a month and then go to Mexico for a month.
Yeah.
You all speak Spanish, it's fine.
Yes, when you have kids and it's quite hard to go these kind of countries, Thailand, like everything is different than
Yeah, I get that.
Everything
But
is
Mexico is only 11 hours away. It's not like 20 plus hours on a
That's not
plane.
the problem. Flying 11 hours, like Spain, you go like 1 hour to Spain.
True,
That's
true.
very easy. And it's not far from my culture, so yeah.
You mentioned full-time around June next year. Is that your plan?
Yes, I'm working on some projects, and if everything goes well, I believe I can go full time next year.
Okay. Are you happy to say what your projects are, if any?
One I can't mention.
Yeah.
I can't mention here. It's related to Amazon, but I can't mention because I'll give away too much. And yeah. And the second one is my project with the virtual assistants, training virtual assistants.
Do you want to go a little bit more in detail on that?
Yeah, why not? So what I started now, so this started actually last year, where I trained hundreds of virtual assistants, loads of virtual assistants, but the way I was doing, I was charging clients for training virtual assistants, and it worked so well. And because it worked so well, I had to stop because I couldn't focus on my business. I had a huge list of clients, and I was training so many VAs, and it was then I started not looking after my business, which was quite it worried me. So I said, okay, either I choose to grow my business or virtual assistants. I said, no, I need to grow my business, and I stopped. Now, because I have a quite big team, I outsource most of my business. I said I will start a new project regarding virtual assistants, but slightly different. So now I'm training virtual assistants, and the virtual assistant will come to me, will pay me, train them. Then as a bonus, I will promote them to clients, and clients will be free to hire them without charging the client.
So what we're saying is that people can get trained virtual assistants, but they don't need to pay themselves. The virtual assistant pays you.
That's correct.
Okay. I think the good thing from this is that the people who do pay you are very motivated to get into the niche, right? Yes. So that's really good. My question would be, how do you continue to get a large amount of Filipinos willing to pay you for this training service? Where's your current audience? Like, what social media platform do you find them from?
So I just started this. I only have 2 groups. I said about 3 weeks ago. At the moment, I only used Facebook, but I'm building my own website. And I will get into Facebook ads, TikTok, maybe YouTube, some YouTube, slowly. So far, just recommendations, because lots of people from Philippines knows me, and everyone starts saying, recommending my training.
Yeah. So you've already got recognition, and that's good.
Yes.
And then so people find you on Facebook. Do you have like a group or anything that people can talk to you on?
I have. So I have 2 Facebook groups, actually 3, but one is private for students, but public for anyone can join. I have one for sellers and another one for virtual assistants. Any virtual assistant can join there. And
what is the one for your sellers?
Maybe I'll just send you the link and you can just.
All right, guys, I'll put it down below in the bio/comment section for you guys.
Yes, I will send you both links and anyone can join.
That's amazing then. So that's kind of a game changer to the actual VA service.
It is. Yes, I forgot to mention. So we as sellers, we strongly to find good virtual assistants. They go to academies, so-called academies in their countries, and they only teach the basics of online arbitrage, only the basics. This is why it's so hard to find someone good, and we need to train them from zero. Okay, So I said, you know what? These people are complaining they don't find clients. This when we have as sellers, we have issues in finding good virtual assistants. So look what I'm going to do. I'm going to try, start this project where I'll give them proper training, and I'm not only covering online arbitrage, or I'm covering online arbitrage, like anything about everything about sourcing, analyzing, the VAT thing, like
how long is the training?
Is 4 weeks, for like 4 hours a week for 4 weeks, but yeah, 16 hours in total. However, there will be part of a mastermind group, a private mastermind group only for students, where they will keep getting support from me even after they finish. Okay, they will get support from me, and for example, now this week I added 10 more hours into the training as a bonus, because I want to make sure because I felt they not really keep on top with what I'm teaching. So I said, you know what, I'll give them more hours, okay, because I want them to be successful, because there is a lot.
So how do you make the VAs accountable then? So they're paying you for training, so they're accountable to a degree. Do you like provide them with homework, that kind of stuff, and then you give them like a certificate at the end?
Yes, they will get a certificate from me, but only those who are proving that they learned what I'm teaching.
Okay.
How do I know this? At the first session, we're gonna have questions. I'm gonna ask them questions, from easy to hard questions, and in the same time, they have to provide me deals every day.
Yeah.
And to check their work. Who's not providing deals, who's not answering any of my questions, sorry, I can't give them a certificate.
That's good. That's good. So they have to put in the work to make.
They have to, because they will go around, they will say, oh, I've been trained by Ahmed.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, if they don't know anything.
And another thing, guys, is that so this is the Ahmed training the VA side of it, and where he manages it. You guys won't have to hire it yourself, so that'll be part of your own skills. I'm sure Ahmed is going to put like an example template of like tips and stuff for hiring, so you guys can probably like understand that quite easily. I'm also working with Ahmed, and I'm creating a VA management course. So I'm creating a VA management course that'll be released in the next 1 or 2 months, and it'll cost £100. Why is it taking a while? Well, creating a VA course for management is actually really difficult. Yeah, there's a lot of editing, there's a lot of going backwards and forwards, because when it comes to managing people, there's a lot of semantics involved. It's like you could do this, you could do that. So there's no exactly strict way, but it's about giving you a good framework where you can get 80 to 90% of it right, and in a way that you manage it that fits in with your management style and how you work as a person.
Yes, and if they get a VA from me and the course that you're gonna launch, it'll be complete, especially if they're new. If they're new. Yeah. And the VAs, they'll be trained in admin as well, how to work with the prep center, SDK, SaaS, and lots of not only sources.
Do you still sell in the UK market?
I quite kind of stopped getting rid of stock, because I'm investing now in other marketplaces. Yes.
Is that just a better return on your investment?
Yes.
What's your favorite marketplace so far?
Favorite one? I have both.
Both? All right, but you're not going to share. That's fine. That's fine.
I have like one is USA, and the other one I'll just keep it secret.
Okay. Like Dubai or somewhere.
Yes,
I think I'm actually selling in Dubai.
Yes, quite close to Dubai, yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I also moved from UK to the USA. The UK is kind of like some training grounds, right? You get good, you learn all the operations, the basics. You get a good capital base. Then you try and expand to America, because the niche is so much bigger. The marketplace is like, what, 5 times bigger?
Yes.
I think it's crazy. It is absolutely crazy.
You just need to find what works better for you and where you get the most profit from. Yeah. I can still make money in the UK, but instead of investing £1,000 in UK and getting maybe £50 back, I prefer to invest 1,000 in other marketplace and get a lot more back. Just an example. However, you still can make a lot of money in UK. Like, I don't want anyone to believe like in UK you can't make money. No, you can make a lot of money in UK. I know so many people making money in UK, but I just said it's just me. You know, I just want to stop UK. It's just something temporary. I want all my money before Q4 to invest in other marketplaces. Then from next year we'll see how UK goes.
Yeah. So circling to a bit of sourcing, right? My question on this is, if someone is new to the Amazon game, they're struggling to source, do you recommend that they go to like a specific niche, for example, beauty, and then once to get more experience in sourcing, you branch out into other categories? How would you give advice on someone's like initial sourcing experience?
Just go broad, anything.
Yeah.
One of my favorite ways of sourcing, maybe because I love the software, is Keepa reverse sourcing. Yeah. I don't know if this is because I love Keepa, what it does for us. I don't know, but I love doing Keepa reverse sourcing and playing with the filters. For who doesn't know, Keepa reverse sourcing is when you go to product finder, you have filters, you add your filters, then it will show you products which match your filters criteria. And when I teach others, I tell them, look, if you want to go niche into the category, subcategory, just go. Personally, I prefer to go broad.
I will argue though, Keepa direct product sourcing is very technical. If that's your first sourcing method, you're going to find that very difficult to do anything.
Yes, it is.
Like, I get what you're saying, like it's super good, but I do think people should try some normal sourcing for about a month, and then once you start understanding and getting the hang of it, then you move to the more advanced stuff. Because if you go straight to keep a product sourcer, you're kind of like trying to run before you can walk, right? Because it'll be so daunting.
Yeah, again, as I said, you just need to find what it works for you. Yeah. Personally, I was from the beginning all in, like I didn't care about anything. Yeah, I even was criticized. I remember very well I was criticized in the beginning when I outsourced my prep, or when I got my first VA, because I like to talk a lot, and I was posting on Facebook groups. Oh, I'm looking for a prep center. Oh, you just started, you get the prep center. But you know, no one knows my life. No one knows what's happening in my life, how busy I am or not.
Yeah.
You know, everyone has.
No one knows your drive even. That's a big part of it. Like they don't know how much money you have, how much drive you've got.
Exactly.
Because I saw prep pretty early too, man. I was just so bad at it. I worked out the cost. It's like I was paying myself £5 an hour to prep. It's like I can just work at McDonald's and just make more money than that, and then pay to use a prep center. It's so absurd.
Yeah. So you need to find what works better for you in terms of sourcing. Yes, Keepa is a bit more technical, but you can do manual sourcing, which is, I believe, is the easiest way. I might be wrong, but it seems that is the easiest way, like storefront stocking. The problem is, you know, when you do storefront stocking, you don't know exactly if it's a good deal. Like you press some clicks on different products, then oh, this high ROI, low ROI. Yeah, you have DS Quick View to give you an idea, but you know, this is why I like Keepa, because it's just showing you what you want to see, right?
Yeah.
But anyone can learn this. Come on, it's not that hard. I mean, in the beginning, but you have no excuse. You have so much information around.
Yeah. I will make a video on the Keepa product finder in the next couple of weeks, but yeah, it's really you need to go into it with a plan. You have to have a plan, otherwise you will get overwhelmed very, very easily.
Yes.
Okay. Another thing is that, so you are absolutely massive on social media, man. You are on there 24/7, breaking tables.
I'm getting there, but not yet.
Do you want me to drop a link to your TikTok, the Ahmed special table breaker?
Yeah, no problem. I can't stop TikTok because I was busy with this project. But I want to work on a new TikTok, because the TikTok that I'm talking about is just for fun, you know. I was kind of clown, nothing serious.
Hilarious though, it's so funny.
But now I want to open a TikTok for this project with virtual assistants. Yes.
But what about, so you're massive on social media. So what about people who are new to the game, or maybe even experienced? what advice would you give to somebody about social media? Is it worth them starting it up? And how would they start it up to become like their own brand? Because you have a brand now, right? You're big on Facebook, you have your own group, you have like the Ahmed brand.
I don't know if it's really a brand, but
it is. You've got your own VA service.
Yes.
That's because of your brand. And this is the thing, people don't realize this, but the second you start posting things on social media, whether you realize it or not, you're starting to build your own brand. You're starting to become recognized by other people. And that's all the same thing, right? It's your image that you portray.
Yes, that's correct. So since I started being recognized, I was inviting to many webinars. It opened so many doors for me. People trust me because even, look, just an example, this project with virtual assistants, I'm someone who's from UK, and I have so many people from Philippines who just contact me. Oh yeah, I'll send the money, I'll pay you, I want to be trained. Why? Because they recognize me. They see videos on YouTube, they see my Facebook groups, people are mentioning my name, I'm commenting on other Facebook groups. So it gives you trust. And in 2022, we really need to have a brand or to be recognized, people to have trust in us. Because if no one knows you, how can I do business with you if I don't know you? How can I trust you, right?
Well, what advice would you give then? So what advice would you give to someone who wants to do this?
To be active, to be active.
Posting all the time.
Yes, until to open my Facebook, which is quite new. I don't know, but a few months, I don't know, maybe beginning of this year, I can remember. Until opening my first Facebook account, I was so active.
Yeah, you was posting 24/7, non-stop.
Yes, non-stop. I was posting about myself, or I was answering questions. At one point, people were, even now it happens, but before it was more, they were like asking a question on someone else's Facebook profile, Facebook page, group, and they were tagging me. Yeah.
Wow.
Which got me
guys, like, you can be successful being a lone wolf, but reaching out to other people and posting, making yourself known will take you leaps and bounds. It's the same for me, right? Like, I have a Twitter brand. I'm big on Twitter. You're big on Facebook. And these different platforms work for each of us. That's fantastic. Yeah. So pick a platform, work on that. Like, the amount of progress you will make by networking with other people is just massive. For example, Ahmed got shared a VA, which someone who was like him, if he was unknown in the groups, that would be so much harder to do because he doesn't know anybody in the groups. So there's always a way to network. Just DM, you can DM people, start posting a lot on their Facebook wall. Well, not the actual personal one, but when they like ask questions or they put in comments, start commenting on their comments. And then over time you'll build some rapport. Then you want to get into the DM and start having a laugh. Just be yourself, but absolutely build a social brand, or just make yourself aware that you are an Amazon seller, you want to grow, and then just reach out.
Yes, it's very important. Networking, it is a point, like a topic of the training I'm giving to the virtual assistants. Networking, so important right now. Networking, people to trust you. It opens so many doors, so many doors.
So as soon as you brought the VAs again, let's talk about Hubstaff. You swear in Hubstaff right now. Yes. There is kind of a situation where there's too many VAs working for multiple people. So you use Hubstaff as a way of getting around that. What I do currently is that I strictly monitor their performance. If their performance drops, so if I see something odd, then I hop on a call with them. We don't use Hubstaff as of yet. I'm just trying, so if your VA has no experience of Amazon, chances are they're not going to work with multiple clients. If you want experienced VAs, then you have that risk. So you have to set the KPIs or what you want to achieve from the VA from the start. For example, how many deals, or maybe you set them in a very specific niche. Another thing you could do is get them on one niche 1 week, get them on another niche another week, and just see how the performance is. Obviously, it's going to drop if you keep switching them around. But what we're trying to do is just see how they're sourcing and see if they're super good at one area and not that good at another area. Another way is tracking the profit of the VA compared to others, but that gets a little bit complex. So Ahmed, do you want to talk a little bit about Hubstaff?
Yes, I recommend to everyone Hubstaff or anything similar to Hubstaff. Yes, you said if it's new, most likely it's not working for multiple clients, which I had this surprise, new VAs working for multiple clients. And I had the surprise to have VAs with good experience, a lot of knowledge, working for multiple clients. Okay. How did I find out? Only because I used Hubstaff and I was watching Hubstaff. I was looking at the screenshots. I was looking at activity. So I'll give you an example. One of my VAs with a lot of experience, she was giving me good deals, stayed only 1-2 weeks with me. And I caught her sharing my deals with other clients. She had like 3-4 clients. And maybe, like, I believe she was, from the screenshots, she was sharing deals. Yeah. She was sharing deals and she was working with her sister. Okay. So that is a big problem. Without Hubstaff, I would say, okay, I got deals, I'm happy, all good. But when actually she has access to your inventory, maybe you'll promote her as a manager. Maybe you give her access to your master sheet because you trust her, right? When she's sharing everything with you, okay? Then I had one manager, which what was doing, she had multiple projects, I believe multiple clients. For example, one day, I noticed that Hubstaff was showing me for 5 hours the same screenshot, the same thing. And the activity, only the mouse. So what happened? This lady decided to work on the second laptop, to do a different project, and 5 hours, she didn't touch the laptop, but she was only moving the mouse. So because in Hubstaff, if you don't have any activity, it's not tracking the time. If you move the mouse from time to time, I don't know exactly every minute or something like that. If you move the mouse, it will track the time. Yeah. So this is what she was doing. Then when I went back in history, I noticed that every day I had this issue, 2-3 hours, 2-3 hours, someone with a lot of experience. Okay. But not only that, even if it's not sharing the deals, even if it's working 8 hours for me, there's another thing which I like at Hubstaff. You can see how they work. I had a surprise. Most of the virtual assistants I have now, I had a meeting with them after that. They were starting, let's say, 5-6 a.m. in the morning, and they were finishing 12 p.m. They were working 1 hour now, 2 hours later, half an hour later, 1 hour later, which for me doesn't work. I don't accept anything like that. I understand they work from home, they have kids, things to do, but I said, you know what? I need to take this job as a proper job, work 4 hours and 4 hours. I'm okay with that. Okay, I'm trying to help you as well. You help me, but don't split it like, don't have like 20,000 breaks in 8 hours. Doesn't work like that.
We do the same. Minimum 4-hour work blocks.
Yeah.
You can do 2 4-hour work blocks, that's fine. But doing 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours is not fine at all. You have no focus.
Exactly, you have no focus. This is what I'm telling them, no focus. So they need to treat this as a proper job, because here in UK, when I go to my job, I need to clock in, I need to clock out. Yeah. It's not like, oh, don't worry, we trust Ahmed, it's fine. It's not like that, because many people say, oh, I trust my virtual assistant. I don't want that kind of untrusty relationship. It's not about that. In the end, it's you have someone who's in a different country. Again, this is just my opinion. I'm not telling anyone to do it this way. Just my opinion.
Yeah, my opinion is a little bit different.
Yes. So everyone is different. I know. This is how I see things. Someone, because I had experience, bad experience. Yeah. People who I hired and they try to trick me, and they did for a while. Okay. And you have someone which you don't know personally, which is based in Philippines, for example, because everyone in my team is from Philippines, and you are here, you don't know each other, and it's a big chance to be tricked. But again, there are so many amazing people. I have people in my team, everyone is being tracked because I don't want to make differences. but I have people in my team which I trust, and I don't have any problem to stop the hub stuff. But I don't want to make differences. This might lead to other things. Okay. So I said, okay. But again, I don't even check the hub stuff for some of my people, which I trust them 100%.
Yeah, that's good. Because it's kind of the thing, the way I look at it is like, how do I build a good culture? Do I build a good culture if I'm tracking everybody? But I understand that during the first few months, it's very important that you monitor the VA to make sure they're not underperforming, not working for duplicate clients. So it's very interesting. There's definitely different ways to apply it, and there's different measurables that you can have. I just personally prefer not to do it because I don't want to feel like it's Big Brother watching them. Also, if they have to check in and check out, then they may only work 8 hours per day. Without it, they may work more hours per day. So I think it is different per the VA. And so, like, we can argue a lot of it comes into the hiring process, but let's be real, anyone can blag a hiring process. It's not hard. All they've got to do is say like the right words, or answer the right questions in the right way.
Yeah.
Then they get your attention. For example, I recently let a VA go who told me she had 4 months experience, right? And I was like, okay, so I had 2 new VAs, one who had 0 experience, one who had 4 months experience, and she loved doing shoes. That's what she told me. I was like, okay, perfect. So I won't treat you as a 4-month experienced VA because I don't know what your previous employer was like, but she joined me, and then like 70 to 80% of our deals were turned red or were bad deals. It's like, were you lying about your previous client, or is something wrong here? So for that VA, I decided to let her go. Then the new VA is doing like 80% good deals and submitting like 5 to 10, just doing incredibly well. So hiring is always a challenging part, and you can never get it completely right. What do you think about the motto, hire slow, fire fast?
Say again?
What do you think about the saying, like, hire slow, fire fast?
Hire slow, firing fast.
Yeah.
I don't want to say anything stupid. I don't know.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Like, what I look for is the attitude. It doesn't matter how much they know. It's, are they teachable, and do they want to learn? Because someone who wants to learn will grow very quick, even if they have no idea what they're doing at the start.
Yes, 100%. 100%. My manager right now, when she started with me, it was, I think, March this year. She didn't know anything, like very basic. She's now the manager. She improved a lot about everything. Yeah. But when she's a part of, her attitude is amazing. Like, she's not working 8 hours a day. Although I told her, look, only 8 hours. No, she always want to finish the job 9 hours, 9.5, because I can see in hub stuff. And I told her, you need to relax. 8 hours, it's fine. No, boss, I want to finish everything. Okay. Obviously, I increased. When she started with a decent salary. Now the salary increased with about 80%, something like that. So it's 70-80%. She earns quite good money, but she does a lot, and she improved a lot. It's really up to everyone. How much do you want to improve? How much do you want to learn? If you just rely on the feedback or the training you get from us, and when you finish your job, you don't go to YouTube, to Google, to Facebook groups to learn about other things, then when you are kicked out, don't wonder why, because so much information about everything and anywhere, right? Yeah. And this is why I tell everyone, just use the technology, learn, just learn. Don't rely only on one source of information. Learn from everyone. I've watched every single Keeper video in this world. And
have you watched mine?
Of course I watched yours.
Good man.
Of course.
Excellent, love it.
Of course. Because everyone has something new to say or a different point of view. Because if you both analyze Keeper, it will not be 100% the same.
Yeah, because keeper shows a story of the graph, and everybody reads a story differently.
Yes, but what is important is if it's a third person here, I would tell, look at what Gavin says, look at what I say, then have your own opinion, or don't just follow blindly. Oh, this is what he said, this is what I do know. Check the information from everyone.
Absolutely. All right, so we are getting to the end of this episode now. Is it an episode? Is it a podcast? It's a chat with Ahmed.
Let's
We're getting towards
the
the end of the chat with Ahmed.
Let's make it episode.
Ahmed, do you have anything that you'd like to say to the people who are listening to this?
Yes, follow us on Facebook.
You're supposed to like something motivating, you know, like give them some advice, tell them to keep on grinding. Oh no, follow me on Facebook now, go!
Advice, just learn.
Yeah.
Don't expect to be easy. Do a lot of networking. Don't be lazy. Learn how to source and how to analyze before anything. The most important, in my opinion, source and analyze. Master these two areas. Do a lot of networking and learn from the best, and invest in yourself, in your knowledge. Join trainings, like private trainings, whatever you can find, or use free information from YouTube, get mentors, just invest in knowledge. The more knowledge you have, the better it is. Yeah, these are my advices. I think it covers everything.
I'm going to say and look after your body as well. I'm saying this from experience. If I go out for a heavy boozing weekend, then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is just really poor quality work. So when you first start a business, or even like during the business, like whenever really, you always want to just look after yourself. Like the actions you do outside of the business will impact what you do in the business.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Okay, thanks for listening to the video. Really appreciate it if you like and subscribe down below for future videos. If you have anything you would like to see, just let me know in the comments, and then yeah, we can get on that as soon as possible. Thank you. Thanks for your time, Ahmed. Much appreciated. Bye-bye.